What's up, everybody? See if I can get Ash Man up. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's up, Eve? How you doing? How are you? How are you? I did try to send an invite there. There we go.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Ash Man, what are you doing?
I don't know, man. It was weird. It's like it didn't accept it when I hit accept. I was like, all right.
Oh boy, we
Not allowed up, huh? Not allowed up anymore.
There's this other lady that's requesting to come up. Hey, Cajun, this requesting to come up. Should we let her up this week since she showed up?
Yeah, I guess.
All
I don't
right,
know. Did she get enough sleep though?
Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Y'all send her up. Hey, Laura. Let's see if we can catch her, if we can find her. Let's accept her request. See what she's got to say here. See what she's got to say for herself.
I'm ready.
All right.
You ready?
All right.
Hi, welcome to the Ginn Project Show. My name is Haley Beth, and I'm the owner of Haley Dot. I'm a diamond dot artist. I have a show every Friday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, we are having a panel discussion, and the panel discussion is going to be about the impacts of AI. Let's start the show again!
Now that's how you do an introduction.
Yeah.
I like it. Throw her out of here before she gets in trouble. Good job, Haley Beth.
There we go. I expanded her first.
Uh-oh. That,
Put her on
ladies
the
and
spot.
gentlemen, is how you do an intro. Good job, Haley Beth. I like that much better. Much better. All right. Ash Man,
How's it going, dude?
what do you think, man? That was a little better, wasn't it?
That was great.
I don't know, man. Get on her case a little bit and get results, I think.
I know, right? You guys are gonna have to get on my case a little more.
Ash Man, get on the job. What up, Casserole? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. Thank you, Laura. Freak, what is going on, Freak? Good to see you. KyraWilsonArt is here. We're going to be hearing from her today. Ren Miller, thanks for stopping in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Betty Jean, good to see you. Appreciate everybody coming in. Good to see everyone. Good to see everybody. If you get an opportunity, if you get an opportunity and you have anybody that you think might enjoy the show, please share it out to them. We don't ask you to do the other things, but we will ask you to do the free stuff. So let folks know we're on if you get an opportunity to. Good to see you, Casserole. Good to see you, Eve's Artistry.
Hey.
Eve is our backup co-host when we need her. She comes through for us when Ashman decides he's going to take over the show. Ash, speaking of taking over the show,
Yes.
what you got going on, buddy?
I just released another podcast on my Gentile Poverty. So that's out. If you want to go listen to that on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Amazon, Apple. Oh, I shouldn't say anything. Oh boy. We got a tight lip. Sorry about that. Anywhere you can do that at. Gotta be all careful now. Oh. Oh boy. Am I quiet? Is that it? Is my sound down or something?
A little quiet.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
Sorry about that.
Just
Sorry
a little
about that.
bit.
Sorry about that. There you go. That's a little better.
There we go.
Yeah, so got all that going on. And I've got the other podcast, which we do, Ashman's Basic Podcast, which is, pretty basic. And that's every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Arizona time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So go ahead and join us then. And I do that with Eve's Artistry. So it's always fun. It's always interesting. So,
Yeah.
interesting. And then turn on your
Interesting's a good word.
notifications anytime. So you can find me roaming around on the streets, being a no good Nick.
He's been doing lives again, y'all. He's been
I
doing. I
haven't.
saw a disco ball. There was music. It was going off at Ashman's
Crazy.
Basic Art Show.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. Please tell the people, like where they can find your stuff, man. There's this place. We're not allowed to say it. It's out there on the webs.
Yes.
The interwebs, and Ashman's Basic Art Store is a place
Yes.
that you might be able to run across some things that are related to what Ashman has going on.
Absolutely.
So we're going to dance around tonight and see how much dancing we can do before we actually get a restriction. So
There we go. There we go.
hey, do we want the content disclosures on or off this time?
Probably
Off.
What do
On?
you think?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
All
I don't
right.
know. What do you think?
I'm thinking don't say anything. See if they let them catch us. Hey, Simba. Hey, Simba. How you
That sounds
doing?
good.
Good to see you.
That's awesome, actually.
So you've been doing lives. You've got a podcast that you do with Eve, and that's on Wednesdays at 6:00 Eastern time,
Yes.
4:00 Mountain time. How you been, man? Just how are you?
I'm okay. I get by. I get from A to B.
Little help from your friends.
Exactly, man. Hi, Simba. How are you doing? A little help from my
So
friends.
you also, I'm sorry, Ash. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh no, go ahead.
You also are doing a segment every show now, and I'm excited about this one. So we're going to talk
am
about it a little bit, if you don't mind.
I don't.
It's called Ashman's Basics. It's going to be either after the panel discussion or after the guest every show. And Ashman is going to drop some of these 30, 40, however many years of art knowledge, little tidbits here and there, things that you feel like might be helpful to folks. All the way from perspective to the basics, how to choose a brush. I'm thinking it's all kinds of stuff like that, right? Like
Oh, it is.
conceptual stuff and then practical, actual, like here's the kind of things that you need to actually do this particular type of art. Here's some things you might want to consider. That may have to do with cost. It may have to do with process, whatever. But some of the things you wish people might have taught you a little sooner over the years, you're going to try to share
yeah.
with the folks.
Absolutely.
And I think it's great, man. The one, if anybody gets a chance, Laura has been taking them and clipping them up, and you can find those. You can find those out there if you look under the Ginn Project. There's this thing that has tubes, and there's a Y in front of it, and you can catch the clips over there of Ashman doing his thing. So anyway, we're still dancing, y'all. We're still dancing. If you're out there, Ezra, if you're out there, man, we're going to test you.
I'm really excited about the piece at the end. It's kind of fun, and it's fun to come up with it every week because there's so much. There's so many basic lessons, and the one tonight is something I wish I would have learned 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Word.
Parts of
Hey,
it,
Rachel.
30, but one part is 3 years ago. And it's when I joined this platform. So should I say it or should we just wait?
Hey, man, it's your show. You do what you want. You're the guy in the big box.
It's about editing. So it'll be all about editing. So editing your portfolio, editing your artwork, and editing videos for TikTok. So it's a lot of editing. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Right on. That's coming up tonight on the show tonight or the next one?
Tonight. It'll be on.
Right on. I love it.
Right?
Laura Woven, good to see you, Laura Woven. Thank you for stopping in. So turn on your notifications for the Ash Man. He's doing lives again. You might even catch us together sometime. Every once in a while, you'll catch us on together again, which is always a hoot. We doubled the restrictions then. It's like we double them up. So then tonight's discussion should be an interesting one, man. We're going to talk about y'all actually are going to talk about. I'm going to do a lot of listening. Y'all are very much more knowledgeable about this than I am, but I have some thoughts. But we're going to have a discussion about AI and the implications, the impacts that it has on the art community and the world in general. So we also have an artist coming on next week. I'm excited about Haley May. If you're not familiar with her, look for some stuff. We'll be putting out some content related to her. Amazing artist, and it should be a lot of fun. And I'm excited about this one because I don't know her personally. So talk to her and find out about someone that's new to us and been in the game for a long time. Has some incredible artwork and obviously knows some folks. So, so I'm looking forward to that. Haley May should be a good one. And then I'm going to get on the phone and we're going to get folks like Trouble scheduled. We're going to get Rick the Muse on again. Hey, Haley May artist in the chat with us there. How's it going, Haley May? So y'all please give Haley May a follow if you're not familiar with her. She's going to be the guest on the show next week. And y'all are absolutely going to love her. So please give Haley May a follow and you can thank Ashman and the rest of the Ginn Project crew next week after you get to talk to her. Thank you, Chipster. Appreciate it. So yeah, man, that should be. I don't want to step on the conversation tonight because I don't know exactly where y'all are going to take it, but that should be an interesting conversation. Listening to it being discussed in the meetings. People got some serious thoughts on it, so it should be an interesting conversation. Again, we appreciate everybody joining us. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Betty, Jean, Chipster. Always good to see you, my brother. Haley May, thank you coming in. Looking forward to talking to you. We'll work out the details on Monday. I know we got to do it a little earlier. We'll make that happen. I Eat Casserole from the back. Y'all, if you're not familiar with Casserole, he's our friend. Casserole makes music. Go check him out. And he's got a great sense of humor. Freak Morbidity was in here. If y'all get a chance, check out Freak. Freak's been doing some pretty good stuff. A.S.H. Artistry. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Always good to see you. I think hopefully I got Laura Woven. I think I saw Laura Woven coming through too, and Bren Miller. So thanks to both of y'all for stopping in. We appreciate y'all. We are going to be able to do some more consistent lives. We had a meeting today for a couple hours about the TikTok studios. So we have tried this a few times. And because the Ginn Project is a produced show, we actually have meetings each week. I do the interview. I do an interview on the phone with the guests the day before. But part of the reason we do that is just time is limited, so we're able to lay out kind of the parameters of what they want to talk about as an artist, how they want to present themselves, and how they want what art they want to show, what part of themselves they want to talk about or not or whatever. So it gives us a chance to sort that stuff out before we're on the live, and then we waste time doing it there. That way, when they're on the live, we can get right to it and bring out the best parts that from our discussion that they felt like would represent them the best. Thanks, A.S.H. Artistry. I appreciate it. Always good to see you. So yeah, we have a meeting every Monday, a video conference call, and right on, Ezra. Thank you, man. And we discuss. After I've already had the conversation with the person that's going to be the guest, I bring that information in. We discuss it if there's anything that they need to know. Believe it or not, sometimes guests have haters, and we block folks for that show that might be a problem for that guest. Or they may have things that happen in their personal lives that they're not comfortable talking about. So we make sure that we know, what people have been through some things in their lives that are absolutely horrific, and they may not want to revisit them, for example. So we glean that in that conversation, and then we're able to kind of make sure that we don't, Chipster, make sure we don't, reveal anything that they didn't want to, because this is about the artist presenting themselves, not what our view of the artist is, but the artist presenting their own stuff. That's the point.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, yeah, right, Haley, right. So, at any rate, that's part of how we do it behind the scenes. Though we actually have meetings, and discuss it. So that the mods are aware and Ash is aware, and that just makes for a much better interview. And even for people that have been on, like we're going to have Rick the Muse on again. And Rick was on the very first Ginn Project Show. He also has been a featured guest on the Ginn Project Show, and he'll be a guest again. But Rick, for example, is painting now.
Yeah.
When he was on the show before, he was Rick the Muse. He's the Muse, and people were painting him. Now he's a painter. So we'll have a conversation ahead of time and kind of suss out that journey and how he wants to describe it, and how much of the old stuff he wants to talk about, how much of the new stuff. And then that way, when we get on the live, we're not wasting his time. So at any rate, yeah, that's kind of a little bit behind the scenes look. If you have questions or you're curious about how we do things at the show, you can go to the Ginn Project Official, and I can't say exactly, but it's that place with mail and a G in front of it. But if you send it to the Ginn Project Official at that place, Laura or Rachel, but most likely Laura, will see it and bring it to my attention, and we'll include it in the questions in the show. Thanks, Betty Jean. I appreciate it.
You forgot to mention that we wear cloaks, the lights are down, and we have candles going when we have these meetings. So that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There may be sacrifices. Oh yeah, 100% cult, 100% cultish behavior, for sure.
That goes without saying, right, Laura?
And we're gonna try this TikTok studios thing again. And the hope is that we can add some production qualities to the show and to our flow states, to our lives. Dropping in little bits of information about other artists, or love me a good ritual, or friends, or whatever. So we'll see. It'll be an experiment. I think I might end up having to do, hey fan, thank you. I might end up having to do a few short little lives or something. I don't know. It's weird that you'd be live for 2 years and then you got to do some bullshit just to use an app, but we're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna see.
It's weird. It's just kind of weird to me, man, the whole thing. I don't know. So tonight, mostly I think it's going to be you, Ash, and Kyra having an adult discussion. So I'll probably be over in the corner, kind of just being mostly quiet. Now I do have some thoughts.
You think Kyra has an opinion on this? I don't know.
Yes. Right, Ace? I'm with you, Ace. Yes. You finally figure one thing out and they change it. Like even how you can talk. It's weird. But we'll play the game. We dance around.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I do have some thoughts on the AI thing. And I will say this because I know it won't step on what y'all are doing. But for different people, it has different implications, right? And there are different levels of severity depending on what you're doing. And if you are a visual artist that does painting or that draws or that does any kind of visual art like that, you are much, much more at risk right now, currently, today. Now, this could change tomorrow than, say, somebody like me that does woodworking, because the end product that I show up with is an instrument or is a table or a whatever. So AI can only go so far. Now, what AI could do is duplicate all of what we're doing right now. AI could pull a screenshot of me, duplicate my voice, and put on a whole Ginn Project show and make it look exactly like I did it, because it would have my country ass accent and my voice, and a lot of people would not know the difference, right?
Yeah, Max Headroom is real now.
Right. So there are just all different kinds of ways that it could be. Fun fact: AI used more water than bottled water industry. Heard that? Yes, heard that. There's a town not far from me fighting them putting a place in because it's going to use all their water.
We're fighting them.
Right
we're
on.
in the desert, and they want to put stuff in here. It's like, wow.
We're in the desert. Yeah, like, I don't know, man.
Ridiculous.
Money makes people do crazy things.
Right.
That's my view on it. But so there is. Listening to y'all talk about it, man, it was super interesting. Like I said, I talked some too. Obviously, I did have thoughts on it. I was asked, and I share my opinion too. But it's like a lot of things from where I'm sitting, with some ethics and a little some morals. It could potentially be a great tool in some applications. But it also could be it already is a huge problem in other applications, and that's just a reality. That isn't an opinion. That's just the reality that we live in this day of time. Do you have anybody that you've seen this week that you want to shout out or mention something they've been working on or anything like that? Or
I'd like to talk about this guy that I saw last night. His name is Ashman in Glendale. He was on last night. He was amazing.
Was he great?
He was fantastic. I mean, I haven't seen artwork like that in ages. For a while, it was just me, Laura, and Kim in the room.
I heard that.
It was fun. But yeah, so, and of course we see Eve's artistry. We have all these normal people we see all the time, but I have seen some interesting stuff that is not AI, but most of it is by everybody in here. That's the thing. I tend to watch my friends list more than the FYP. So I pay attention to you guys and the artwork you produce and create, comment on it, like it, whatever. And that stuff's amazing. And it's a personal connection too, knowing these great artists in here and getting to see it. And, you guys are sharing amazing stuff, and that's great. And Laura especially. Oh,
man.
I am not going to
that lady
detail Laura does.
Dude, that lady is unbelievable. She most underrated artist on here, probably. Low key, man. So low key.
Rachel released that song.
Who?
Some lady
that
Rachel, and it was a beautiful song. Beautiful.
Yes, we can't tell you where to go, but it ends in Audify, if you go to Rachel's TikTok page, so I'm not telling anybody to do anything illegal. I'm just saying to go to Rachel's TikTok page because we're on TikTok right now.
Hopefully that
and
doesn't get you hit.
and you
TikTok.
can find her new drop on there. And that is dope, man. It's awesome. Fantastic. And you wouldn't, after the last album that she dropped and the style of kind of heavy music that was, this juxtaposition is pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it is.
She's exercising the pipes on this one. She's singing a little bit. She's singing a little different, She's not screaming at us this time. She's not screaming at us. She's
I like.
I don't know.
It was.
Oh, me too. But this might be more of a wooing sound rather than a guttural. I mean, the content of the music of that last album needed screaming, right? Like it was a scream at you, I got shit to say album. This song though, dude, is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it is.
I don't know.
Whispers in the Sea, like Laura said. Yep, that's awesome.
Whispers of the Sea. If you go right here to Rachel's social sync, and you look at her profile, you'll see this there. It's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we know if the whimsical little birdie is here? Have we seen the whimsical little birdie?
I have seen her. Yes, she's in the chat somewhere. Yeah.
So if we could we go ahead and send the whimsical little birdie up, and we're gonna check her mic, and I don't know if she's gonna have her camera on or not, but she will have a mic.
I'm gonna make her in the big box.
And we're gonna make sure there she is.
Yeah, the big box.
We can see her, and we can hear her. Kyra, let me just say before we get started, how much, and I know I can speak for Ash too, how much we appreciate you coming on and doing this. Know that you are incredibly busy. You do have a show in September, and that seems like a long way away, but it is coming fast. And you're unveiling a world that you created, and it is absolutely amazing. So the fact that you would take the time to come on and share your thoughts on this subject with us, and most likely take some shots because everybody disagrees about something on this particular issue. So thank you for being courageous and coming on and having a conversation with us about it, because you are so knowledgeable about these things, and you've been doing this long enough, like Ash, that you've seen how it's impacted a variety of different areas, including yourself. Your art is copied. It was one of the original things copied, as a way to put it, when AI started. So your stuff comes up as if it's AI. So you, of all people, would have some thoughts on this. And can I also say that people may not realize this, but the Ginn Project Show, you are one of the folks that you're one of the advisors. You're one of the folks that we talk to about content and the subjects that we're going to do and how we're going to present them and that kind of thing. So thank you for that, because you're incredibly busy, and it's super kind of you to help us out like that. So thank you, Kyra.
Thanks for having me.
and welcome back. And I'm sure Ash has a few things to say. And then I'm gonna do something different here and be quiet and let the professionals lead the discussion.
Wow. That's different.
I'm going to be over here trying to figure out how to open an email.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
While you youngsters do whatever it is that y'all's doing.
So if you've posted any artwork on any social media, you have been scraped for content for the massive AI engines out there. And it's weird, you know, because I had somebody get upset once when I posted a photo of AI because it was so bad. I wanted to show how bad it was. They got upset with me because I posted it. I went, I'm showing the pitfalls. And they're like, well, some people feed their stuff into the AI and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's too late. You're already fed into the AI. And that's what some people don't realize.
Well, even when you sign up on platforms, it talks about how they're going to take any of your content, your likeness, your pictures, your art, everything, music, everything is being fed into the AI. And if you're on the platforms, you're consenting. You always see those silly posts going around on a different platform that says, I don't give consent, blah, blah, blah. It's like by using the platform, you're giving consent. That doesn't matter. That's not going to do anything.
Exactly.
So glaze and nightshade that Ace has mentioned. So they're already getting around those. But we can touch on that too. The amount of energy being used for bad instead of good on this is
I know,
crazy.
right? Yeah.
So,
It is the Wild West out there right now for all this stuff. And the bad guys are winning.
I like to think that the people who are actual makers of art, it's like panning for gold. And right now we're just in the mud stage where we've just got a big scoop of garbage and we've got to go through it and get all the silt to get out of it. And then we'll be left with the people who can actually do it again. But right now we're in the mud.
Oh, yeah,
So.
definitely. It's a weird world right now to navigate with AI. Some people are using it as a tool, a legitimate tool, while other people are just creating, I'm going to say it, schlock art. It's just stuff that is just trite. It has no soul. It has no feeling. The human element is missing out of it. It's heartbreaking to see, I think.
Yeah, and I think so. It's been an interesting evolution because in the visual arts, we were the first impacted. And so it's been this wave as it kind of infects other areas. And so when it first happened, when the engines first hit, and I don't even remember what the first one was. I don't know if it was Midjourney or Dolly, or they were working on it in universities and stuff like that. And those of us who've been listening knew something was coming. But we didn't truly, I think even though we had people running around like Chicken Little, skies falling, even they didn't comprehend how bad this was going to get. They went out there and they said they didn't scrape artwork against people's permission. And that's not true. There's lawsuits about that and everything. They hit places like DeviantArt and took everybody's art before you could opt in or out. And it was too late. And I had a piece on there that had like, I don't know, 500,000 million views, something like that. I had a couple like daily spotlight stuff, so I didn't play the game very much, but when I did play it, it got there and they definitely scraped it. And it started there and people didn't know what they were going to do with it. And there was a couple different places where people would go and just see, what is this? If I put in like a coffee cup, what comes back? That kind of thing. Because we didn't know what it was, not totally.
No.
And it was so bad that we were irritated that our work had been taken without permission. And and what people don't understand if they're not in the arts, and a lot of people in the arts don't understand, is that you have instant intellectual copyright of stuff that you create yourself.
Yes.
Which is going to be important later when we talk about the AI stuff.
Yeah.
But the going and taking and scraping of all that wasn't legal. They can't do that. They fed, and that's the crux of a lot of the lawsuits, is that you're using somebody else's intellectually copyrighted material to train your machines.
Yeah.
And you're not compensating, you're not paying, you didn't get permission, you can't use it. And it's definitely for a commercial product. So you can't do that. And here we are.
It's funny because I asked ChatGPT what it thought of it. And it said, oh, it's a morally gray area. I'm like, wow. Protected your own, huh? It's pretty bad. Like, it's morally gray. It's not bad at all. It's like, oh, okay. Whatever you got to say there.
I don't even think we understood the environmental impact way back when it first started. It was, back then people were, I remember the big, I think I'm old, the news at the time, I think people were worried about the energy consumption for like crypto mining or something.
Yes.
which I never truly understood, but it again was an energy consumption thing. And then this came out and blew all that out of the water.
Yeah.
You know, it became this whole other thing. And the amount of lack of foresight or deliberate misleading of what this was going to end up costing just on an environmental level is a problem. And the horse is out at the gate on this one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's just like any kind of big business. They know the problem, they see the problem, and as long as they're scraping up money for it, it's not a big deal. You know, the gas companies did that. They knew lead was corrupting the entire world, and they still kept going and telling people it was safe. Well, these companies do the same thing with servers, like somebody had mentioned the water consumption earlier. It's the same thing. It's taking all kinds of our environment and just destroying it. So, physical environment.
yeah, communities. I mean, you can see on the news that they'll talk about the impacts that it's had to communities. People's wells are drying up. It's all the bad. But if we,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to tackle the environmental side of it. I've seen a lot of estimates where just one image request costs a certain amount of fresh water, and and the water's gone. It's used up. It's evaporated. It's put back into the atmosphere, of course, because nothing's truly gone. But at the same time, it doesn't come back to where it was, and it's taken out of the ecosystem that it was a part of.
Yes.
And so that's bad. So, and arts generally is associated with a respect for the natural world too. So, there's where it's impacting the most, or at least it was impacting the most, which is the arts. You're talking about impacting a community that actually cares about the world. So I think all of us were just sort of shell shocked by the whole thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then it became a question of whether or not this was okay. And a lot of the discussion, people like to throw back, well, this is just like photography. When photography was invented, and that was going to put all the portrait artists out of work. And, because once upon a time, the only way you were going to carry around a keepsake of a relative and what they looked like was an artist.
Yeah.
That was it.
Absolutely.
And, photography rocked that world, but it didn't, it refined that world, in my opinion.
Yes. You have folks like Ansel Adams who are capturing the environment in a beautiful way. That painting captures in a different way. So you have these different outcomes from these different tools. But AI right now is affecting people differently than photography did. And and I've heard the copier thing as well. I could just Xerox this and have, a big poster of your work. And for a while, that's what was going on too. Before AI was happening, we would put good photos online as artists so we can give a good image for the audience. And somebody went, well, I don't have to buy art now. I can just take your image and blow it up and have it. Well, AI is kind of the next step to that. Well, I don't need your art because I can take a prompt and create it. So the artists are getting very hurt right now, especially when it comes to covers of things like books or album covers or anything like that. The AI is like a couple letters away from having your idea on the screen. And again, it looks soulless. It looks trite, but people are happy with it because they didn't have to pay anything for it. And you get what you pay for, I think, because the soul of the artist is what you're paying for. The knowledge of the artist, the heart of the artist is what you're getting. And if that's lost on you, then I don't know what to say.
Well, that's the thing though with photography. Is photography was another medium that still relied on the artist's eye. Any kid, we've all had the kids like run around and take a photo and we're like, okay, so this is a photo of a toenail. Like, what are we looking at? And it's garbage, right? But okay,
Yeah.
They took a photo. And then you've got people like Ansel Adams that were taking these brilliant compositions and the lights and the dark and everything. And so the artist's eye mattered.
Yeah.
And photography became another medium when digital art came onto the scene. I'm old enough to remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Went from airbrushing being the wow, this I don't know how traditional this is, and then the digital arts came onto the scene, and people were like, I don't know if that's fair. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of, and I remember being on the wrong side of that for a while because I was like, you know, I'd sure like an undo button on my paintings.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
me too. But now look at me.
Right. So, and I don't work digitally, but I tried it out and I'm like, oh, okay. It still requires the artist's eye. It still requires technique. It requires a whole plethora of, you know, equipment and everything and software. And you have to, there's a learning curve that's just like if you're picking up a paintbrush with oils. And
Absolutely.
it's less messy,
Yes.
but it's just as real. It's just as valid. It turned out I didn't like it, but I could respect it. And so I could set that aside, you know, and so with that in mind, I did stick my toe in and I tried out, I think they're all defunct now, but it was like something cafe way back.
Oh,
like,
okay.
like
Yeah.
first
I kind of
started.
remember it. Yeah.
Something that like nobody probably, I don't even know if it exists anymore. So I tried out that because I just wanted to see, because people started posting stuff like crazy. And I was like, this isn't, even if you put in something specific, if you have an imagination, you're not going to get back what you're imagining. The only thing you can do is refine what they've given you. So basically, you're working on somebody else's work. And it turns out you're working on a whole bunch of other people's work because that's where that came from, was all the other work of other people that they've scraped and stuck in there and squished together with their computer programs and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
That's the technical side of it. It's all squished.
That's squished.
It's, but it lacks the artist's eye. Even if you go in and you're refining it or anything, it lacks the artist's eye. It is completely missing it, and that misses the soul. And so that is the big difference when everybody argues, oh, this is just like photography for the art scene. It's really not. You know, photography was another medium. Digital art was another medium. This isn't.
Yeah.
You know, this is just.
Yeah, well, look at we were just talking about Ansel Adams and landscapes, that sort of thing. Look at the difference between Ansel Adams and somebody like Ed Mell. Ed Mell was an artist who did landscapes, but he was very blocky. He was very known for his blocky clouds, that sort of thing. AI is not going to like create that. You know, there's something that the artist himself was like, I'm going to make this so different and so interesting. Nobody's going to know who I am. And then all of a sudden people were like, I love this, because it was different, because it is its own. AI scraping doesn't have its own imagination. Mm-hmm. And that's what's missing. So, you know, would you use AI for references, that sort of thing? I understand. If you're using it for part of a reference or something like that, I get that. But when you're taking the AI image and just blowing it up and tracing it and going, this is my work, is it your work?
Yeah. And what's more is there's so many people who are skipping the fundamentals of artistic development. They aren't learning perspective and drawing and basics. And I mean, I paint. My drawing has gotten really, really bad because I do most of my refinement in paint. So I sketch out like basic outlines. Sometimes they're not even in the right spot. And I'm like, it's close enough. I'll figure it out when I start doing the paint. Because I started with drawing, you know, that's where you start, because you need to train your muscles and your brain, and you need to understand how to look at things, which sounds, everybody's like, you always look at things. I know how to look at things. And it's like, you really
There's a difference.
don't. Yeah. It's like, if you can look at something and then you learn how to pull it apart in shapes and you start looking at the light and textures and all this other stuff, it's something that you think you know how to do, but if you've never really worked on that side of your brain, you don't. And it's something you can train.
There's a difference between looking and studying and analysis of that piece, and the brush strokes, the way the lighting's hitting, the way the lighting's coming down and creating shadow, the tone, you know, what colors are they using? Because people think when you do a face, when you're starting out, what do they normally do? They find the color of the face and they paint the whole face the same color. Well, there's so many different colors in a face, and you're not going to learn that if you're not watching and studying. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? The AI, it created Will Smith eating spaghetti the first time, and it was atrocious. And then it started creating something that looked very real.
Yeah.
And it's strange, but they're working within the real world. Do you know what I mean? It's the real world, and there are physics to it, that sort of thing. Creating art's a lot different, I think, and that's my thought on it.
I mean, just like if you have a photo reference that you've taken an actual photo and you're going to use that as your reference, even if you trace it, that's going to be wrong. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's like you can get into the physics of it. So your eyes have a certain shape. The camera lens is rounded, it's convex, right? Mm-hmm. And so that is going to skew some of the things that you see. And so even if you trace it straight, what makes a good photo is not necessarily going to make a good painting or sketch or whatever. And so these are things that you have to have studied and learned. Not, I don't mean studied in school, but you have taken the time to study so that your brain can learn what you need to adjust to make it look right. Because I think a lot of us have seen, or we've even traced stuff, because that's where you start. That's where a lot of people start. They start with tracing things. And that's totally normal. You see kids do it, you see adults do it. And it's okay to trace your composition later too, because it saves time and it's still your composition. I've done murals and I project stuff on a wall, and on my bigger pieces, I sketch out what I want, and then I take that and I project it onto the bigger thing, and I correct it. I have to correct that too. When you sketch small and you blow it up really big,
the pencil marks are like this thick when you.
It's like
you have to adjust it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you have to adjust. You can. I had an artist that similar circles to 15, 20 years ago, and she did people a lot, and she would trace the person so that then she could paint it in, and it just never looked right. And she kept saying, this doesn't look right. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look right. And I'm like, well, the eyes are wrong. And she's like, but I traced it. It's exactly where it should be. And I'm like, but I hear that, but there are reasons, and, light refraction, convex, from the lenses and your own eyes. And the fact that you're looking at a two-dimensional picture of something that was three-dimensional that you're now translating in your head back to three-dimensional and then into two-dimensional on your surface, which is a lot of back and forth and sounds complex, but really it's a natural process. But you have to be able to correct those things. And if you don't know how that works, if you haven't learned those things, which you can learn on your own, you don't have to go to college, you don't have to do all these things. You can learn with people, and it's practice. It's literally just drawing things around your environment. Draw people, draw whoever. Better to draw in person than from TV, iPad, or anything else. Just draw, a glass of water, anything.
I used to go to the coffee house with a notepad and just draw everybody I saw in there constantly, because that will teach you the differences of facial features, or, the similarities of facial features. And you get really different models and different facial features that are expressive. Whereas like a TV, it's kind of flat and you can't really see what's going on. A photograph's flat, like you said, and then you have to translate it into three-dimensional. Live models are always better. So yeah, I kind of miss doing that. I might go out this weekend to a coffee house just to draw people again.
Yeah, that's one of those things that the more things you draw, whether it's people or things around your house, and even drawing things around your house will help you draw people, because you're learning how to translate a three-dimensional object into a two-dimensional existence. Yes. And you're learning how things change in perspective and how light plays off of different things. And that's something that people are skipping. It's one of the many problems I have with AI. What's the quote that I posted? I don't even remember who said it, but it was something like, AI is so the wealthy can access skill, but without allowing the skilled to access wealth.
Yes.
And I agree with that. There's always barriers to owning original artwork, original songs, original books, things like that. There's a barrier, and some of them are higher and lower depending. There is a barrier to making your own work, but usually that's just mostly you and you learning how to do it. And so if you remove that barrier by not learning the lessons you're supposed to use and learn and, you know, assimilate into who you are as an artist going forward, you will never be the artist that you want to be. And you're putting out garbage and you won't understand why.
Yeah.
And the AI isn't yours either. There's nothing about that AI image that is yours. So it belongs to everybody but you. Not only that, it's not copyrightable. So.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's where a lot of people get caught up and they don't understand. They create products out of that. They sell logos from AI, and that's problematic. If you don't know the laws and you're just running rampant with AI, you're going to be in trouble. So we have to watch out for that sort of thing. As an artist, you have to know legalese as well. So there's a lot of weird areas that I wouldn't call gray. I would call black and white because they are laws. And yes, they're edged towards the businesses. Of course they are. But just be aware of the laws when you're working with stuff like that, because we're the ones that are going to get hit with it if you're messing around like that. And and if what we're talking about yesterday, you're talking about like logos and that sort of thing. If somebody makes, other people can just kind of, like the company that we worked on would just be able to run with it. Yeah. So AI cannot be copyrighted. That has gone to court. It's been decided, period. So if you make something in AI and you use it, whether it's your logo or as a print or on a t-shirt or whatever, say it takes off and you're thinking, this is so great. The problem is, if it's AI, it's up for grabs for anybody. You have no rights to it. It's, if you made a logo, somebody else can use that logo and slap it on there, and there's no repercussions because you can't copyright AI. Yeah. So it's that simple. That's bad. It's very bad. If I sit here and draw something and it doesn't look like something else, you know, I don't draw the a logo of a soda or something. But if I make up my own thing and I draw that logo, and it doesn't inherently look like somebody else's logo already, then there's copyright instantly to it. And if somebody else started running with it and everything, I'd have to prove that I came up with it first and all that if I hadn't registered the logo. But there's a province to it that I can then take somebody to court. If they're making, you know, tons of money off of it, I can take it to court and be like, this is mine, and I can get damages for it and all that. And they're not allowed to do that. If I did it on AI, I have no standing. And anybody who takes it, they have no standing too. Even if they're more successful with it, if somebody takes it, they stole it from me and they went and got successful with it and somebody stole it from them, nobody has any recourse there. Yeah, exactly. So, and you can't copyright AI. We talked before about who's going to get hurt. The artists are going to get hurt, but also the consumers. The consumers are going to get hurt if there are collectors and they think they're collecting art that was created out of imagination and that sort of thing. And then they find out, wow, I could have got this at a big box store. I can't say the name. Yeah. You know, it's like you get the same thing from other places. And I talked about this the other day about, I used to be a production artist where you would knock out 100 of these paintings in a week. You know, you just and sometimes you're painting them from scratch, and sometimes you're just taking a print of it and making brush marks on it, movement marks, that sort of thing. And you know, looking back on some of that, I'm like, I feel kind of dirty taking the money for it, you know. But the other thing is, I'd create big abstracts that would sell, and those were from my imagination. I felt fine with those, but the production line of the other stuff, I felt a little. And it kind of feels like that's AI to me, is like, it's not really mine. I've never really used AI outside of ChatGPT and music making. But the thing about music making is I might make music, but I say it's AI, and I'm never going to go, oh, I'm going to make it big or sell this, or it's for fun. It's silly. It's something to do. I wouldn't pass it off as real music. I just wouldn't. As an artist, I just don't think I can. And now there's accounts that are completely AI. They're on different music streaming
platforms. There's video accounts, like people, there's one I saw recently where it's a woman who does makeup transitions or something, and everybody thought she was real. The whole thing is AI. The person doesn't exist. It's
wow.
AI all together, because the video's gotten that much better. I couldn't tell, and people were pointing out, okay, the teeth are different. I was like, okay. So I was looking in closer. I'm like, okay, yep, no, they are, but you didn't used to have to look so close. My brain cannot give that much energy to checking everything. And I think people are counting on that to take advantage of people. And so that's where it comes into building the trust of clients and everything, so that they will be able to rely on you. Hopefully you're honest and you're like, this is my real art. This is me creating my real art. And, we didn't used to have to, I used to do time lapses just for fun, because it was some content I can put up. I have to do it now. I don't necessarily put it all up, but I have to have it because I'm in contracts. I am doing different things with different people and different organizations, and they need to know that I don't use AI. And it has to be AI free. So I have to document my process, as you said before, show your homework. Yeah. and I put up a video that was really boring. And it was like, here's how I'm coming up with my creature, and it's my bad sketches, because I'm going really fast. I'm trying to figure out my Bracklebur, and I'm like, I know I want it. Nope, that looked really wrong. And, back and forth, and then ears and not ears, and,
Oh, yeah.
And that's my homework. And it's boring, but I put it up because so many, every so often you'll get people who are like, hey, your art looks like AI. And they'll stick it in those AI checkers, which are not reliable, by the way.
Yeah.
And it'll say it's AI. It'll say it's 98% AI, that kind of thing. And it's like, no, it's not. And look at this. I put in a 20-year-old painting that existed long before AI, and it says this is 100% AI. I have a whole bunch that, this is 100% AI. And it's like, I can show you every photo that I used for reference. I can show you all this stuff. But I'm lucky that I just never deleted stuff out of my files. I can go, no, this is what I did. Now I have to document. I literally have to set up the camera every time I'm painting. I didn't used to even sketch as much. Now I'm doing more sketchbook stuff, so I can say, this is where this came from. And I'm not putting up every process video, because they're saying, so AI, I've seen a couple, they're not great, but AI is creating process videos now too.
Yeah, I heard that. I had somebody on another platform accuse one of my pieces of being AI. And I said, go to TikTok, you'll see my homework. And, of course they didn't. But it's one of those things. AI is getting that smart and that interesting. And it still looks not right to me. I mean, I could always go, something's wrong. It's like you can't really explain it, but your brain knows something's wrong with this, and it's weird. It's a weird space right now.
It's like the uncanny valley thing that people will get from certain movies and stuff.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm freaked out and I don't know why.
Exactly.
I wanted to back up a second. So Ace was talking about you. I read the comment wrong. Sorry. I have glasses and it's still not helping. You can copyright artwork, but you also, you have an intellectual copyright. You have an inherent copyright just by creating your work, as long as it doesn't infringe on anybody else's. So, for example, if Ash did a painting and I was like, cool, I'm going to forge it like someone we know. I'm going to do my version of it. And it's very clear that I'm doing his version. I can't copyright that. I have no intellectual copyright on that. There was a painting in, can I say a name of a place that's a big amusement park, or would that get me in trouble?
No.
Okay.
Does it have a mouse with black ears?
Yeah,
that
it does.
looks like this? And you can get those little black hats that have mouse ears on them if you go there.
It kind of talks like that, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
No, we can't say that.
Okay, so, I went to that place. That's interesting place. And there were, I of course went into the art area, and there were these beautiful painting prints by Peter. I can't remember his last name, but he did so many amazing paintings for them of various characters and everything. Cinderella in particular caught my eye with this beautiful crystal castle thing. And it's just one of the most beautiful paintings I've ever seen. And it was only this big, and I couldn't afford it. You know, I mean, I got young kids then. They're old now because I'm old, but I had young kids, and just the fact that we made it on a family vacation at all was like, yeah, we broke for the next 10 years. So, I looked it up back then. It was, you know, the internet was new, so finding it at all, I looked for a couple years actually, and it eventually ended up online. Uh-oh.
I think he just muted himself.
Okay, just himself. I just got this live is muted. I'm like, okay.
He's basically going, your time is up.
Yeah. So casserole, I'm going to come back to that in a second, but I finally, it eventually came online and I was able to see it, and I guess the original is quite small, but I loved it and I wanted to learn something. Peter Allenshaw, thank you. Yep. And so I used that to do I blew it up 30 by 40 and I painted it, and I learned so much painting it, and I had people offer to buy it. And I'm like, I cannot sell this to you. This is somebody else's copyright. I can't make money off of it. I painted it for myself anyway, regardless, but I can't sell it legally, regardless, ever. And so it's on my wall, and I am much different than I was artistically back then, but I love it. But again, I can't sell it. I can't show it on my platforms, any sort of business platform that represents me at all. I can't share it. It's the only reason I could, even then, I can't share it because my platform represents me. I could share it in a group of friends and that's it.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. I'll get sued. Going backwards here, casserole, if you're being a writer, if you don't copyright your work, it becomes free use. That only depends on what you're talking about. If your writing is similar to other people's enough that it can't be distinguished necessarily, yeah, you're right. You would need to copyright it individually, and that would have to go through the copyright process. In general, though, you're creating a story and it isn't a copy of somebody else's story. You also have intellectual copyright. It is a good idea as an author who's going to be putting out books to copyright that. For artists, if you paid to copyright every single piece you did, we're going to make more pieces than authors usually make books, right? That would get incredibly expensive and difficult. It would be crazy. But if you have a print that's selling like crazy and it's like a big thing and you're putting it all over the place, then yeah, copyright that one just to give yourself a little extra protection. So there is an intellectual copyright that is inherent in the creation of something unique. AI is infiltrating writing as well. People are churning out books like crazy, and again, that is infringing on authors that have come before. It has scraped the books, and now it's putting out stuff. Sometimes people are even putting it under the names of the real authors, even though they didn't write that, and they're trying to sue, and even there's problems with that as well. So yes, you do. So some people do create, they experiment with some of my paintings and they tag me, and most people, if you are not profiting from doing that, that is totally fine. And tagging it is appreciated, usually considered respectful in the community. Not claiming it as your own idea by itself. Attributing it is a good idea.
Yeah, I have people all the time. Can I copy that? And I go, tag me in it and copy. You know, just as long as you give me a nod that was mine originally, I'm okay with that, because you're copying and you're learning from it.
Yeah.
So as long as you're acknowledging the artist and you're learning from it, it's like me teaching you a lesson in a way. I'm fine with that. So yeah, absolutely. But Amazon, or that place, I almost said it, has so many of those things running amok.
Yep.
So yeah, be careful. I found one the other night after we had a discussion. I was like, oh, this is definitely, you could tell. It's kind of like when they were doing covers. Before AI took off, there were websites where they just sold cover art for cheap. And you would go on Amazon, damn it, I'm the worst offender of it. You would go on that store and you would see the same image on so many different books. and it was ridiculous, and it was taking money out of artists' hands.
Yeah. And right now there's a current debate in regards to book covers. Just on a different social media platform, there was an author that came out and said, hey, I've written this whole book, my original thing, no AI. I have saved up money for ads. Here's what I'm willing to do. I'm not willing to pay an artist for cover art. I would like free cover art, but I will put your name in the ads. I'll tag you in it and stuff like that, which is the old school of I will pay you with exposure, which the joke back is people die of exposure.
Yes.
So
and they can go themselves.
So, I
That's
think
what I need to do when I'm going to mention
the other, yeah. And so that is lit up, at least the social stuff that I see. There are artists that are, everybody's offended. Everybody's like, you know, you want people to respect your writing. You want to be respected as a creative person, that you've created this thing and you deserve to be paid for it, and that you've avoided AI with that, but you want to be given free art. You want the labor, you want everything, and you don't want to do anything but tag them in it. You're not even offering. I mean, there's other things that authors can do. They can be like, look, I can't totally afford this, but I can give you a percentage of the sales. I can do this, I can do that. A royalty arrangement is a normal standard arrangement, you know, for people who really can't upfront pay for the, you know, creation and the licensing. You know, there are a lot of different paths. And just the give me free art because I made something. And she actually doubled down and posted that writing is harder than art, and art's easy. She literally said art's easy and people can just go out and make art like crazy, whereas writing a book is a much more intensive thing, and you don't put in as much effort and it's not as expensive. And I was like, oh,
wait a minute.
You know how much my studio is.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I could have kept my temper after that one, because I've spent so much on equipment and supplies. It's ridiculous.
I don't think that people understand.
I've done both. I've written books and I've done various kinds of artwork. I've done just about every kind of artwork there is. They're all hard. They're all hard. You have to know what you're doing, and it all takes skill, and that's all there is to it. There's no getting around that. It's a creativity is hard. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I've written a lot too. I actually paid a lot of my way through college by writing. So I've written a lot too, and I have not written a book, but I read a lot. I have a lot of respect for authors. Oh, when I mean I read a lot, I mean, folks, I read a lot. So I read almost more than anybody I know but my father. So, which is why I'm making him my book dragon. He's got a hoard of books. So
nice.
That's something that I've noticed in the AI community discussions also. And I don't mean like I'm in an AI community, but the discussion in the arts about AI is that they've got creatives going at each other with it. You know, I got into an argument, and this is where I learned to probably stop talking because they're just not going to hear me. There was a musician, and she had worked really hard on all of her music. This was before AI hit the music industry. So it was just visual at that point. And she had worked really hard to put her album together and everything. And she was going to do AI art for her cover. And all of us were like, that's not okay. And she's like, I can't compete with the big publishing music houses and all this other stuff who can afford to go and hire somebody to do this really cool cover and this really cool posters and all this other stuff. So in order for me to compete, I have to use AI. And it's not disrespecting artists, it's respecting my music. And it puts me on an even playing field. AI levels the playing field. And it's like, but it doesn't. Because when you disrespect another branch of the arts, you're undermining your own. And now, sure enough, AI has come for the music industry. You know, and it's hitting movies now and stuff. I'm watching it leach its way through all the creative industries.
Oh yeah.
You know, the amount of I've downloaded books that I thought were legitimate, and I can tell they're AI, and I've like returned tons of books, and it's infiltrating everything, and it's not a leveling the playing field. If you haven't spent the time to refine your craft, then you shouldn't be doing it. If you aren't going to respect somebody else's that you need to help boost your craft, then you're not doing it right. You need to, there are alternate paths, and they aren't going to be as shiny and pretty maybe, but this is where you get into the ethics, what's ethical.
Yeah.
I heard that marker and I could practically smell it from here.
I know, right?
I know what that smells like. No, Katie, most of them do not. But you know, when you're going through it, it's like when you see an image and even if it doesn't have 6 fingers, you're like, something's wrong. And if you start looking closer and closer, you're like, okay, this is melting into that. That's wrong. Or something, or it's just missing. Maybe it looks perfect, but something's lacking. Right now the books aren't as good as what they're able to kick out with the visual art stuff. The visual images, I shouldn't call it art. The visual image generators are better than the book generators, but they're going very quick. The pace is going quick. And then there's just a lack of cohesive storytelling in them right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not like somebody who's new to writing. It's just a flavor to it. If you read a lot and then you read one with AI, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you could go and look for something and you'll be like, it's odd. I can't explain it.
Well, it's funny because I do use ChatGPT. I didn't know about it until late. My wife actually is an instructor at a major university, and she explained what it was, and I went, oh, what is that? So I've been messing with it to figure out some things and kind of test it against itself and see where it goes, that sort of thing. I like to poke the bear and see what happens. And the thing is, it writes in a certain way that sounds clunky, mm-hmm. inhuman, and it doesn't have all the answers, of course. So you have to, and because it's collecting information from sites that are wrong, it could be wrong. So you have to do your homework after you check it out. So, and there's a lot of papers going out from students that are just terrible, and and they can search and tell that it's AI. So it's like,
well, again, the detectors are tricky because the way that I write, I like certain grammatical, stuff. I like the dash. I like, I've always used them, and they're like, that's AI. It's like, no, I just happen to know how to use it.
Yeah.
so
I
there's
like the ellipses.
Yes, I'm Gen X. I will not give up my 3 divides.
No.
It's like I will forever hold on to that.
Exactly.
But in the Oxford comma, and the flip side to this, though, now that we've trashed AI, and there are small elements that are helpful. And like you said, you've gone into ChatGPT a little bit. I know a ton of people who have ADD and ADHD who are using it to help organize their day so they can get things done. It's a true tool as long as they're not feeding weird stuff into it. It's literally, I have these things to do today. How am I going to do this? And somehow it helps them organize it. It's been a huge boon to people figuring out their medical stuff. It's been catching things like that. I know about it in other industries that I can't discuss where it's incredibly helpful. There are areas where if people were using it like a tool, the way when Photoshop hit the scene, people were up in arms because people were able to, you could manipulate the models that you saw on covers of magazines and things like that. So people couldn't trust their eyes, and it was frustrating, and it wasn't, revealed as art or whatever, or the people would do art, but it would be wild Photoshop stuff instead of something that existed in real life. And this is beyond that, but Photoshop can become a tool. For example, I'll take a photo or a scan of one of my paintings, and then I'll go into Photoshop and I'll clean it up and fix, like the little artifacts that are everywhere, like a cat hair might get into some of my art, and I can, pull that out so it doesn't go across the print. It's a certificate of authenticity on the DNA level. But I can go in and you fix all the little, just little hairs or it just comes out wrong when you take a photo or whatever. You can fix all that. You can clean it up. You're not changing anything. You're just taking away a little dot here or there or a glare. And then that is from Photoshop, and I'm able to print that. I can change, the colors and everything. So it's CMYK for printing. And that's a tool. And I also use it to slap together. I paint weird stuff. This is why people say, oh, your art looks like AI. No, AI looks like my art. It has looked like that from the beginning. And I've been around a heck of a lot longer than AI.
Can I just say this, because you're a really humble person, that it is actually true that you were one of the original artists that AI scrubbed. So consequently, your stuff shows up as authentically AI because AI was designed based on your stuff in part.
I mean, I'm a very small artist compared to a lot of my songs, but I'm there enough. Enough of my stuff is out there, and it was in the original data set, and it continues to be as AI continues to scrape. They keep scraping.
People like Charles Vess and oh god, I just blanked. Brahm, stuff like that.
Laura and Brahm, Lori.
But you said the words I couldn't find earlier. You're in the original data set. Your art was scrubbed because of the look, because of that whimsical look that it has. I mean, it makes sense.
I don't know if they even took it for that. I think they probably, one, they scraped everything. But I also think they took it because of the popularity. So I don't even know if they're using like bots and crawlers and things like that. I don't think there's actual people going, hey, throw this one in. I think they just went anything that was popular on the site, scrape it. And then they are out there scraping websites. And if you Google, thank you, Kat, if you Google me, generally you'll get me because I've been around a long time, and that website has been mine for a long time. And so it's an established artist website. So of course they're going to scrape it. And I don't know that they even looked at my art. I don't know that they cared. Probably didn't care. It's not like going after Warhol or something. And we're going to get Warhol so that people can go create a Warhol painting. I have not tried to tell it to create something in my style.
No, you're actually good. Sorry. I'm just throwing fuel on the fire.
So my stuff is in the original data set, and if you ask AI to look at some of my images, it'll tell you that I painted it. So it knows whatever it is. It knows that it's mine. It identifies it as mine. I'm established enough that it knows me as an artist. I don't know. I don't know that that's really a great claim to fame. That's just data gathering, and it just has enough data attached to it.
But it happened to you. I mean, you were one of the artists who, when it originally was set up and was scraping and whatever, you're part of that data set. So you've been dealing with this problem for a long time. That's where I was going with that. This is not new to you. You've had to put some thought into this.
Yeah. Well, we all got shell shocked at the beginning. So I'm friends with the Brahms and Lori in particular. And I remember them talking about what they were going to have to do about it and some legal stuff, and it's gotten very quiet about it. So I would imagine that's a nobody talk about it kind of thing. But we're peers on social media platforms and stuff, and have been for a while, along with some other ones. And it's just the legal impacts and the way things have changed and the way it's infiltrated the arts and the way it's changed. I think it's changed the trust between consumers and buyers. And, I remember having an argument with a gallery because they were showing original paintings, and they were prints of a photograph that the guy had gone in and just dotted some paint on, like similar to the production art. Mm-hmm. And they thought they were original oil paintings. And I'm like, this is, on the back, you can see it's a print. You can see that on the edges, it's a print. You can see that. And the gallery just had no idea. And
we can see that. Yeah.
Well, right. But they're presenting it dishonestly. And I don't know if the gallery was doing it on purpose or not, but the artist sure was. And there's one of the things that honestly, probably took for granted because I didn't think that much about it, about the relationship that the artist has with the buyer, the client. And you have an element of trust.
Yes.
You know, you are trusting. I'm going to buy a piece from you. I'm trusting that you made this, that this is your vision, that this is special, you know, whether it's your print or an original or whatever. I have a level of trust. And I watched it get broken with just prints. The level of breaking of trust with AI is so beyond that, you know, and I find that to be completely, it's just horrible. It's it's just bad. It's kind of poisons the pool. It makes the buyer used to be able to go, I like that, you know, and feel good about supporting the arts. And now you don't know if you're just supporting a grifter who's just printing out as much stuff as possible. And then you've got people in between. You've got fine artists who were amazing. And I can't name names, but there's somebody who's amazing who's over in Europe, and they were an amazing artist, and they went fully down the AI path. And their whole thing is that is where the future is. That's where the money is. Get on board or get out of the way. They're going to get their bag now. And they're upfront about it. They're selling AI reference packs of their work, but AI, you know, saying that, like, if I put in, you know, do a reference pack for, you know, Kyra Wilson, you know, and I make all these Kyra Wilson versions of artwork and I stick it in a pack and sell it as references to people. And they're making a ton of money on it. I find that completely dishonest. I get that they're being honest about the AI, but it's dishonest to their own. I'm not using the right word. It's just not. It's not having the integrity with your own path as an artist that you should have. Because I think when you veer into AI, you stunt your own growth.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's a huge problem. There are little bits. So obviously, if I'm going to talk about AI, I have to at least go into it and figure it out so that I'm not just going, it's all bad. And I don't, you know, like with the digital art, I was like, you know, that's not fair. They have an undo button, but it wasn't until I really sat with it and tried it and then understood it. So I did go in a bit to try and understand it. And I tried the cafe ones, and then I did stick my nose in a couple of the other bigger ones. And I understand it. I think that there are elements that can be used as a tool. So, like, back to the Photoshop reference, you know, I've got my dragon Fergus, who's been waiting years for me to finish him, but he is a Photoshop badly together of a llama, a panther, a lion, an owl, and a couple other little things. And it's a bad Photoshop because I just needed reference points. I just needed to know this is where that neck is, and slapped them together. And I could bring up the reference photo to show how bad it is because it's black and white and all this other stuff going on. And I'm making a white dragon. So to have a black body just doesn't work. But it did what I needed it to do. And Photoshop for that, or Photoshop cleaning up my print, totally a tool. And the thing about Photoshop, again, is you have the artist's eye. You know, it's just like a camera too. You do have an artist's vision. You are creating something with the eye in it, and AI is lacking that. But I had what painting was it? It's one of these other paintings, and I was trying to figure out, I think I was figuring out a fox's ear. I was looking to see if I had it. I was figuring out a fox's ear, and I needed it to do something in particular. I think I was putting like a butterfly on it or something. And I couldn't get it. And so I started looking, and I was able to ask AI to just do a fox with his ears down this way. And I could just get that one part of the ear, and I could use that. But what I didn't like doing is that goes back to the environmental stuff. So I'm on the fence about how I feel about that. But if everybody would back off of using it in a bad way, it wouldn't be such a horrible consumption kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You asked me a question in this conversation yesterday, so I've been thinking about it, and I've been listening to you tonight, and so we were talking briefly about how it applies to different people in different ways, and how kind of it hit you guys, the visual artists, the painters, that kind of thing first, but so. See if I can describe this. If I was building a table for someone, let's just keep it simple, a table for someone, and it was a custom build. A lot of folks know I have, you know, I write on the table. I have wax paper on the tables that I work on, so stuff doesn't stick to them when I glue them, but also I can write on them. And so everything that I've built over the years, generally, there's a sketch of even some rudimentary something that was on the table that I sketched out and then built it. Now, if I sat down, now I could go and sit down and say, hey, I would like a table that's this tall by this wide by this, that's live edge, that's made out of walnut, that has a shelf in it, blah, 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 blah. And the AI would spit out an image of some table that it rendered. And there, I think, is where we have the problem where it would fit in my shop. Because what clients were paying me for over the years was my design ideas. They wanted my version of that walnut table or that cherry table or that whatever. And I think that would have been dishonest of me had I had that option, that I rendered it all using AI and then just went and built something that looks like what AI came up with. So if I understood our conversation yesterday, that would be a place to where I feel like that would be dishonest. If I used AI to come up with my design idea and then I just built a copy of whatever AI rendered, because what people were actually paying for is, and I've had them tell me this, and it's happened on the guitars already, they don't have any specific requests on the parameters. They just want me to build it. They just want my ideas to be the ones building them. And I think there's the rub, right? Say again.
It's funny because I was thinking about this after our conversation last night too. I came up with the same conclusion. I thought about, there's only so many different guitar shapes, right? What if you fed it into AI and had it come up with an organic shape for somebody to play that would be very comfortable? It would come up with something very weird and different. But is that yours? Of course not. Of course not. You didn't sit down and craft that. You didn't design that. It's a new design, kind of, but they scraped all the other guitars to figure out what works, what doesn't work, that sort of thing. But it's also not yours. It's just a prompt. It's just a prompt.
So that's one of the one of the comments here. Laura Woven Art.
I'm sorry, Kat. I don't have any guitars, Kat. When they get done, they go on a list and become available. I don't have any that are available. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm very sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just Laura Woven Art said, I think using as a reference is okay. It's not really different than taking a photo for reference. And so I disagree. The reason that I disagree is that it's if you're doing straight from it, like you told it to make a hummingbird and you're going to do exactly that, exactly the lighting, exactly everything. You're just operating as a printer for the AI. You're missing the artist's eye. You're missing the artist's vision because you didn't come up with that. You typing in the words is not the same as you coming up with it. And all of us artists are capable of coming up with it. I think right now there's a lot of people using AI as a shortcut for lots of ideas. And I think it can be helpful if you're trying to refine your idea, that you can kind of throw one in there and maybe get some other ideas and jump off from that and go somewhere else on your own. But if you have a completely AI image and you're just recreating that, it's copyright's questionable at that point. Usually you can't, because again, the prompt is from AI and the whole picture is from AI. And it's missing you. It's missing your vision, the way you would, have the way, if you said, I want a hummingbird on lilacs, I guarantee that you would draw something different by yourself than what AI throws at you. And so you can enjoy what AI, I really like that one, I'm going to pick that one. But it took away from what you would have come up by yourself. And it takes longer. You got to look through a bunch of photos online of, the nature parks that take pictures of the, okay. I misunderstand what you mean by reference. Okay, so are you talking more like I was talking about just the fox's ear, just like that little piece? So, but to clarify for somebody who's going straight one-to-one from AI, I'm on the side of that's not a good thing to do. Okay,
I think y'all are on the same page.
Yeah, the little pieces. Okay, so we're in agreement.
And maybe here's an example. And here's what I meant by design, and it comes with the thought process, right? And the intent behind it. So this is the guitar that I built, the first one. And this streak in it is from where a piece of equipment hit that tree back in the 80s on Ed's property. And that was in a wider board. And I selected where I cut the guitar out of that board so that that particular stripe of damage was on the top, floated on the top side of the guitar. That was a conscious decision that I made, and it had to do with my relationship with Ed, the fact that I know the story behind how the tree made that color, that area. Like that's a damaged area in the tree that it was healing itself. So there's an entire story behind it. And that is the thing that AI wouldn't get. That's the thing that people would be paying for, right? My perception of that plank of wood and where the guitar should come out of it, why it matters, how it's relevant to other human beings or whatever. And therein lies what we were talking about too, I think. AI can't do that. AI doesn't have the backstory for why the decisions were made to bring any particular piece. And you as artists, whatever you put on your canvas is the culmination of you as an artist for your entire life up to that point, right? So it comes from within you and all of your experiences and all the things that you learned, all the failures actually inform the next piece that you do.
As creators, as people like yourself too, we see flaws and we see the beauty in flaws. AI doesn't see it. And AI will get rid of it and go, well, that's wrong, that's a mess, that's whatever. But we see beauty in it. And I think that's an important difference as well, is that we see the world differently than an AI, which is ones and zeros.
Right on. Right on. Kyra, if you have any more thoughts you were going to share with us, please do so. The time thing is not all that important. So I just want to make sure we get you both have the opportunity to get your final thoughts in on this particular subject before we transition over into Ash's teaching us some basics. But this has been an incredibly interesting conversation, and I think that I've learned tonight there are segments within this conversation that we could do a whole show on.
Yeah, it's a complex topic for sure.
And can I also say, just for folks that are out there watching and for folks that might watch this later when we load it, Kyra and Ash both have decades worth of experience in the art world. Galleried artist internationally, professional. That's how they made their living, how they paid their bills. And I'll go even further with Kyra. Kyra has some educational background around the business side of art. So it is incredibly kind of you to spend your time, as busy as you are, as much as you have going on. It is very thoughtful of you to come and spend your time and share your thoughts on this, knowing that there will be people that disagree with your perspective on it or whatever. But I think it's an important discussion. So please round it out. If there's anything you weren't able to get to or that you missed or thoughts that you have that you'd like to cover, please do that.
I think in the end, there's going to be lots of people who disagree with me. Right now, it really is the Wild West. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of money to be made. Whether you decide ethically that's what you want to do or not, I won't follow AI artists if I know that they're relying on AI for like their compositions and stuff. I'm not talking about like, I need this paw, I need to figure out what a chicken foot looks like or something. I'm talking like they're using it for their composition. Then I'm out, because I feel like you stopped your artistic development, and I'm really interested in where you're going. Whether you're just starting or whether you're further down the road. I want to support and put my energy into artists that are still growing. And I feel like AI stunts that. I think that there's a lot of areas that we didn't know that we were going to have to confront. And especially if you're new to the arts or you were interested in AI and that inspired you to go and paint something, you didn't know, but once you do know, you have the opportunity to do differently. And I would support that. Somebody who's, got their toe into the water, figured out they really weren't interested in art and are learning about it and need to learn the actual skills and veer away from that. People aren't going to agree with me necessarily on everything, and that's okay. And honestly, it's such a Wild West thing that there's going to be new elements that develop from it, new applications that could be useful as a tool, because not everything, it's not black and white. It's all bad or it's all good. And so it's going to be really important, because it is here and it's infiltrating everything, to keep the little diamonds that we get out of it that are really helpful and get rid of the garbage, And so somebody pushing back and saying, well, this is what I've done, that could be like, oh, wow, no, that's really helpful. So I'm not closed-minded to new ideas, but I'm also protective of core artistic values that are artist-centric. I want the best for every artist, every creative musician. I don't care what you're doing. If you're creative, I want you to continue to grow, because that's what art is. Art is growth. Art is not perfection. Art is making mistakes. Art is making pieces that we burn instead of show anybody. It's wasting our materials and being frustrated about that. It's, but it's also when you've got a victory, it's like, oh, I did that. Or you get to the end of a painting, you're like, oh, I do know what I'm doing, or something, which happens to me a lot. So I would just say that this is a big field. If you're going to be in it, pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure that you're not hindering yourself instead of helping yourself, and make sure you're not hurting anybody. This is where I'm talking about the environmental impacts again too, and just be careful and judicious about your choices in regards to what you choose to do with AI, because it's here. And I don't like it. So there are certain aspects that I like, but I admit that I have a biased lens, because I'm part of the visual arts and we were hit first. So I've been grumpier longer about it.
And you just said it, the artist lens. The artist lens is missing from this. And I say the same thing about, I agree you should trace to learn, but if that's all you're doing is taking somebody else's artwork and constantly tracing, you're not learning anything. I want to see who you are. I want to see your ideas. I want to see your language of art. And it's just going to miss. It's just going to miss if that's all you're doing. I want to, like you said, I want to see where you're growing. I want to see where you're going to. I want to see the art within you. And AI is not the way. It just isn't. It's not complicated. It's not nuanced, and I think it's quite ugly. But that's me. And if you don't agree with me, I don't care. That's fine. Everybody's got an opinion, so that's kind of how I see it.
100%. Yeah, and neither one of you struck me as unreasonable, or and you've tried, and you've kind of looked in depth at different uses, different applications, and there's good and bad, but there's a lot of bad that doesn't seem to be accounted for, from all the way from the environment through the implications to artists, to copyright law, to expense, to just all of it. And that's the shame of it, is it boils down to money. And what people are willing to do for money. Some people are willing to stretch the limits. Others are a little less comfortable with that. I personally would prefer original Ashman art or original Kyra Wilson art, whatever came out of your heads. In fact, we were kidding around about my forgery of Ashman artwork, but I would make the argument that one of the reasons y'all like it, or that my friends anyway like it, is because it's my rendition of something. Even if it's simple and silly, it's the fact that that particular person did it, right? So the art that I did with Eve's artistry, had I used AI, I would never be able to come up with the crow penguin. But the imperfection, the fact that it, I did a crap job of it, lets you know that there is humanity involved, right? The fact that we did this one with Eve, and it looks the way it looks, is because that's my interpretation of that particular image. It isn't good, but it's endearing, right? And that's another thing that art can do, right? It can make that personal connection. That's what I'm trying to illustrate
we could
with
get
that.
into folk art and that sort of thing, primitive art.
Trench art, for example,
Trench art,
made out of things that are, used to take life rather than give it. And, they make these beautiful pieces. It's incredible. So, for me, the AI thing in part takes away that experience of art, right? The experience of the artist. That's what you're paying for. That's what I'm understanding from you guys is you're paying for the lifetime of experiences that artist has had and brought to that moment that they made that piece. And AI just can't do that.
And it's not just about the image. It's that, there's so many artists in the world. Anybody can paint a painting of a fox or something, but it's your painting of the fox. That's what makes it so special. And if the eye is the one doing the work, then it's no longer, you're missing. You're literally missing the number one most important ingredient, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So
that's a great point. The most important part of the work is the artist. If the artist isn't involved, then what have you got? It's a good point. It's hard to
brushwork's going. All the decisions, all the little decisions, where the brush is landing and where the highlights are going to be, and the subject itself, everything.
And like you were saying earlier, all the different tones in the skin of the face, if you were trying to draw it right now, the way that each of us are lit a little differently and how difficult the challenges that would be, all of that, man, it's amazing. So we could do it all night, I'm sure, as far as this conversation, especially we could throw a couple things out there and really get Kyra fired up. But Kyra, thank you again. Thank you so much, my friend, for being willing to come on and share with us. You're so knowledgeable and you do such a good job of kind of breaking it down into simple components. Even somebody like me can understand it. So thank you for that. And look forward to the next conversation we get to drag you in on, kicking and screaming. But thank you very much, Kyra. We very much appreciate you, and for all that you do behind the scenes to make this show keep coming on week after week. So thank you, Kyra. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what Ash wished he had known.
Me too. Me too. Thanks, Kyra. And now we're going to switch it over and we're going to go over to Ashman's Basic. And I don't know how this is going to go. Kyra, I'm going to be riding with you. We'll see what happens.
Okay. How do I?
We got you. We got you. We got you. We're not going to throw her out, though. We're just going to shrink her.
Welcome in, everybody. You're hitting the best part of the Ginn Project right now. Just kidding. Today we're going to be talking about editing. So when you get to editing this, take that part I just said out. And we're going to be talking about everything from editing your editing your profile to editing videos.
He's being careful. He's got to be careful what he says now, y'all, or TikTok will get on him.
I don't want to. trash your show at the very end.
He's talking about editing and he can't say any of the implements. It's crazy.
But when Mondo was on here before, and he said something very interesting that his professor had said. You're only as good as your worst piece in your portfolio. And that's very honest. So the worst piece you have is going to be representing your level. And it does that with any kind of portfolio. You have to go through it and edit. You have to be able to unalive your darlings, as they say in the writing industry. So get rid of things that aren't as great as you want to present yourself. That's all there is to it. So your portfolio is you. So that's part of editing. And when we get into editing as your profile, you want to present yourself the way you want to present yourself, right? You, like Ginn, has a very different way of presenting himself than I do. My late night shows are very different than this show. So in a way, I'm editing how I act on this show. It's not fake. It's not anything like that. It's just I understand the rules and I perform at that level. And so you kind of edit who you are in a way, just like you do in society, right? And you have to do that when you go to galleries as well. You have to edit and understand who you are and how you function and how you're going to function within that gallery. So editing. So you edit your portfolio and you edit your attitude so that you can work within the artist industry. The other thing is we get into something that I wish I would have known 3 years ago, and that's how to edit videos on this platform. That's one thing that we all kind of wish we would have known when we started out. And if you're a visual artist, this is kind of interesting. I see a lot of visual artists make one mistake. They show their piece at the beginning of the video, and you're basically giving up the want to see the rest of the video. You've already shared the piece, so you're not going to get any hits. You're not going to get any draw in because you've already given up the main product. So you do close-ups, or you do yourself. You show yourself as a product as well, because your personality is going to sell the pieces as well. If you're not comfortable in front of the camera, that's fine. Just do your artwork. Show progression of your artwork. Show close-ups. Don't use too many editing things. Just don't make it flash like a strobe light, or you're going to drive away an audience. So you want to catch somebody within the first 3 seconds. It's called a hook. You want to hook them in the first 3 seconds. And sometimes when you do the no flashing, please, Laura. I don't know if I could do that on here. Yeah, I'm going to reserve myself not to go and flash you guys. All right. So basically, yeah, Ginn's done it before. Don't threaten him with a good time. So basically, you need a hook at the beginning of your video. And that could be music. Pick out your music well. Understand the music and what you're going to use for your video. But draw them in that 3 seconds. Because if you lose them in the 3 seconds, your video is not going to perform well. And also, when you're using editing equipment, there's the native equipment that's in TikTok, which is pretty good for what you're using. I mean, if you don't want to spend cash on it, use the native equipment within TikTok. You could do a whole lot with it. I did a lot with it for the first 2 years. I only used the TikTok editing equipment. Then later on, I went and started using Cap, the other one, Cap, and kind of up the game. And it has more equipment and more tools. So don't go and spend money if you don't want to spend money or if you don't have it. You could still put out quality videos as your art is the sales, right? Your art is what drives the video. Make sure you showcase your art. Make sure that is the main focus, or who you are as an artist. Do promo videos for yourself. Be who you are. That is a big sales pitch to your artwork. Put out your personality. Who are you? That is going to get you further than 100 videos that don't say anything. And that's the thing. We go back to the other part that I said at the beginning. You're only as good as your worst piece. And if you're putting out 100 videos a day and they're all not good, they're not going to think much of your art either. So make sure you take the time and do something right. All right. That's all I got to say about that.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. Take the time. If you're going to put it out there and it's going to represent your work, then take the time to make it right, because it's representing your work. So the one day that you're slack, that you don't stick to that rule, is the time that person comes along that's going to be checking out your stuff, that's interested in maybe taking your stuff to the next level, making a purchase, whatever, and they decide to pass on it because they saw you at your worst moment. Yeah. Basically, you know what I mean? And it's like you were talking about, yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation, and part of it is just because you're considerate, but like you were saying, what we do on this show is different than what I might do in my own flow state. Or what you might do in your live. And we've got a standing rule. People may not know this, but I'll tell them. I don't care. When I'm in your lives, I'll follow your rules. I'll try to do the things that you like in your live to make your live better, because that's why I'm there, is because I'm a guest in your live. And when you're live with me, you do the same. You don't break out some of the puppetry stuff that you have, and just a quick little anecdote. I redid a baptismal on here, on this platform, live. It took a few months. I'm not a member of that particular organization. I don't have any affiliation with them at all, but it was quite the honor for them to ask me to do that particular piece of work, historically speaking, in the town that I live in. And that group of people, as I was working on their piece and I'm doing it live, I tried to make sure that songs that came on the radio wouldn't be offensive to their thing. I tried to go with their vibe while I'm working on their stuff. If that makes sense. So, and there are other people, clients that I have that would be on the other end of the spectrum that would be wilding out if you gave them the opportunity to. You know what I mean? And you want to be respectful to both, right? So you got to remember that lowest common denominator thing, because that's what people end up remembering you by. How many times have you done a post that you spent an hour trying to figure out, and then you threw something up that was kind of a joke, and that's the one that goes viral, right? Yeah, exactly, you know what I mean? Exactly. So anyway, yeah, man, interesting. I love your new segment, man. Thank you for doing that. It's fantastic. It really is.
I like doing it. And yeah, it's funny because the videos you put up, they represent who you are as a person, who you are as an artist, who you are operating in the universe, basically. So you want to make sure you're putting out who you are, and don't fib about who you are, because we could see it. Be who you are, and be real. Just unlike AI, be real.
Be real, right? Right? Absolutely. Real. They don't get realer than our guest next week. We got Haley May coming on. I can't wait to talk to her. She comes with some huge bona fides, some big credentials. So I don't know, man. I might have to put on my good clothes to talk to her. But and then we're gonna get Trouble on here in the next month or so. Rick the Muse was in the chat. We're gonna get him on here in the next month or so. I'm gonna be reaching out to those fellas and see if we can get them back over here. Rick's been doing some painting, man. It's pretty cool. The guy, when I met him, he was being painted. Now he is the painter. And I dig it, man. He's another example of dudes that'll go out there and try something. You know what I mean? It's just fantastic, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've done a Rick the Muse piece for sure. I mean, it was a couple years ago now. I'm due to do another one just for fun, but I got to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So yes, we got Haley May coming up next week, and then we're gonna have at some point after that we're gonna have Rick the Muse. We're gonna have Trouble. We got a couple other people in the pipeline coming up for you there, and we got a couple more of these panel discussions. So I don't know. We got the next 6 or so weeks kind of dialed in. I'm really looking forward to talking to some of these folks too, man, because it just the evolution, you know, the painting that Rick's been doing, the stuff that Haley May does is incredible. The little bit that I've seen, and same thing with Trouble, man. The rings that he makes, the stuff that he does is just cool. I know Haley digs that dude, so she'll probably get a kick out of that. And can I say, her name is Haley May, Kat. She was in here earlier tonight. Can I say that Haley did a really good job in her intro in the show tonight? Yes. She took some heat this week. And for those that are curious, I'm hard on Haley just like anybody else on the team. We all hold ourselves to a very high standard. And so we hold Haley to a high standard too, even if we show up on her show giving her the business. And tonight we see the results. She did a damn good job tonight. That's how it's supposed to go.
She did.
So if you're out there, Haley, we love you. Good job. We appreciate you. And no, I'm not going to ease up on you. I'm going to stay right on your ass every minute of every day. You're going to keep getting better, Haley. Ash, man. Tell them how to find you, man. Where you gonna be? When you gonna be? How to get in touch with you? And Ash, do we have music today, man? Are we gonna show art? Or are we just gonna dip out of here?
I
don't have any capabilities at all, Ash, man.
Of course I know.
I'm counting on you for all of it.
I got you.
Yes, Kat. Yeah, Rick. We ain't gonna take it easy on Haley, man. She wanted the team. She gotta handle her business just like the rest of us.
You can find me at Ashman's Basic Art Store. You can also find me if you turn on your notifications, because I just walk around aimlessly nowadays, and then I find myself in the studio and I push the button. So just go ahead, turn on your notifications for me. And you can go to my profile, look at those things that you can look at under my profile. And you can find all my other platforms. So go ahead and check that stuff out. I do a YouTube. Oh, man, look at me. I'm just dropping names like an idiot. Oh, man.
Like the Matrix up in here. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
You can find me over on the U's. And I've got a podcast that I do with Eve's Artistry over there. I also could be found on all the places you can do and listen to podcasts. That's under Genteel Poverty. So go ahead and check that out if you get a chance. I'm a busy man, I guess. And catch me again doing lives once in a while. Turn on your notifications for us. You might find us.
You never know. You never know. You got me coming on Sunday mornings, early Monday morning, late Sunday night. Usually had a little hiccup this past week. Gonna be trying to do some things on Wednesday nights as well. We're gonna try to fix some other times in there. We have some meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that mixes things up a little bit. But you'll be able to catch me on some of those flow states, working on these guitars, talking to some of these artists. If you have not seen it yet, this is the one that came back from SA Artistries. Samantha, the starving artist, painted this, and I'll be finishing this guitar up in the coming weeks. Absolutely unbelievable. So thank you to everybody out there that's been supporting us. Hey, Amber, good to see you. And who supports our lives, and we're about to get back to doing those some more. So appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming in. Special thank you to Kyra for coming in and sharing her knowledge. It's so amazing, man. She's so knowledgeable. It's just so kind of her to spend her time with us. I don't know why she spends her time with us, but maybe she won't find out. Maybe she'll keep doing it. Maybe nobody will tell her it's us.
There you go. There you go.
Ash, man, great job tonight. Thank you, man. You also are such a wealth of knowledge and understanding, and you know more about art than I'll probably ever learn. You've probably forgotten more than I'm ever going to be able to digest.
I forget a lot.
But it's incredible, man, and I dig the segment, and y'all did an absolutely wonderful job today. Thank you to the folks like Laura and Flutterby and Freak and Kim. Doesn't get enough credit either. She's always in here tapping and helping out, and so thank you to the folks that always come in and support us. We even had a Spurs sighting tonight. I saw Wafty in here. I love that dude. That's my guy right there, man. I don't care what nobody say. Wafty's my dude. So appreciate everybody. Freak! Another one to do it. That's my dude too, right there. Freak now. Ashman's gonna play a little music, I believe. Whenever the music stops, I don't know when that is. I'm gonna end this live, but until then, I'm gonna show y'all some artwork by some of these amazing folks on this platform right here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. I hope you'll take the time to come see us next week when we do this again. Thank y'all, everybody. Couldn't do it without you. Appreciate you.
Night, everybody. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. Sorry about that, folks. There we go.
The cookie! I love it.
Severed art.
Project Zero art. Here's some severed.
Hello! He's artistry, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello! This is also Eve's artistry.